adjourn.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
This
sir.
meeting's in session. We got a long agenda tonight. So, let's get right to it. To start things off, Deputy Mayor, would you mind reading the land acknowledgement for us?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We respectfully acknowledge the City of Corner Brook as the ancestral homeland of different populations of Indigenous people. We also acknowledge with respect the rich histories and cultures of the Beothuk, Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador.
Thank you very much. We do have, I know Councillor Keeping is not with us tonight. She has to pass on her grants. Would someone like to move the approval of the agenda?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Seconder?
Seconded.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Next, we have some minutes from our regular meeting on May the 6th. Would someone like to move the approval of those minutes?
So moved.
Thank you. Seconder?
Second.
Excellent. Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Any business arising? Yes.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, under the section 2450, under the asphalt paving, it's great to see that the contractor has been out and about, doing the paving cuts that have been ongoing now for months. Just wondering how far along the contractor is. I've noticed that in the downtown core, a considerable amount of pavement has been done with regard to the cuts. Just wondering how far along are they, how many cuts are there in the city, and what's the duration for the remainder of the spring, early summer to get that done. I was on the street today, and I noticed like on one particular street there were actually 2 or 3 cuts, and it's in a neighborhood as opposed to in the downtown core. So just wondering if I can get a quick update on that.
I don't know, Mr. Flynn, do you happen to have an update on that?
No, Mr. Mayor, I don't have that prepared this evening. I will get an answer for you, though.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I do notice they do usually do cuts a bunch at a time and then fill in, so it's not, so that's usually a good sign. I know on West Street, when the cut was made earlier, it was done within a day or so.
Yeah, I have another question, Mr. Mayor, but you're correct. Normally in the contracts, they have them, once they do the cut, they have to fix it in so many days.
Yeah, and I think that we read last time it was within 90 days of the contract awarding that we wanted that patching work done, so that'd be great.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I do have a question on 2449 from the minutes, landslide remediation of efforts. Just wondering if we could get a quick update on where that sits currently.
Mr.
Sure,
Charters?
through you, Mr. Mayor. Staff have been working diligently on this. Our biggest concern, of course, was safety for the workers, the public. We had the trees, which was quite a jumbled mess, removed 2 weeks ago, I believe. The guys got at it again last week. Weather dependent, of course. We want to be really careful. We developed an extensive safety plan, which I was very pleased with. The material is now off the road, but there is still a lot of work to do before we can get the road open. The guide rail needs to be installed. We need to do some piping to make sure that the water coming down through the drainage course that was created from the landslide is no longer an issue. So we're hoping next week. That's our goal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, anything else there? Okay. We have some proclamations and events. May 6th to 12th was declared National Nursing Week. Of course, we recognize the contribution of nurses who work tirelessly in all healthcare sectors, including on the front lines of hospitals, long-term care homes, primary care, and those working in the public health community sector, education and research. May was declared Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome and Hypermobility Spectrum Disorders Awareness Month, a group of disorders that affect the body's connectivity tissues, including skin, joints, blood vessels, digestive system, and many other organs and tissues. May was declared MS Awareness Month. We had a great crowd out for that. Multiple sclerosis is a chronic, often disabling neurological disease affecting an estimated 1 in 400 Canadians and approximately 90,000 people across the country. And June, which is coming up, was declared Recreation Month to recognize recreation enhances the quality of life, active living, and lifelong learning, helps people to live happier and longer, develops creativity, and helps build healthy bodies and positive lifestyles. And we have a lot going on in recreation, which is on the agenda tonight as well. Yes.
Yeah, just one quick question with regard to, since June month is National Recreation Month, I did speak to Director Robinson earlier. I had some calls from some residents of the Elizabeth Street, Windsor Street area in the last little while, some emails as well, with regard to a former basketball court playground area on the Windsor Street area.
Yep.
And I spoke to Director Robinson, actually sent him an email earlier, and if we could get an update on that, this would be an appropriate time for us.
I think you just examined it. I don't know if we've got a plan for that yet, do we?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, we went and saw that site just last week, and it's part of a larger plan that we're putting together for the future of all those types of spaces in the city, playgrounds, parks, that type of thing. We are aware of that one in particular, and we'll have a plan for it hopefully shortly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. First one tonight, Councilor Granter, we have our annual mowing contract with Cornbrook United Soccer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Cornerbrook United Soccer Club wishes to enter into an agreement with the City of Cornerbrook to supply mowing services for the Ambrose O'Reilly, Monarch Complex, and George Daddy Doll soccer fields. Be it resolved, Mr. Mayor, that the City of Cornerbrook enter into a formal agreement for the calendar year of 2024 with the Cornerbrook United Soccer Club to supply mowing services for the Ambrose O'Reilly, Monarch Complex, and George Daddy Doll soccer fields at a cost of $11,000, HST included. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Second, Mr. Mayor?
Seconded. Okay. Are there any questions on that one? That's our normal annual project. Okay, let's take it to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. And we have our annual cleaning contract. Yes, the deputy is going to declare a conflict. If without objection, is there anyone objects to the deputy being in conflict on that? Okay. So be it. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to
Oh, I
ask
gotta
you to
go back.
move. These are the new conflict of interest rules. You have to sit back in the gallery or something. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks again, Mr. Mayor. Humber Valley Employment Corporation has been responsible for cleaning the Margaret Bowater Park building since its reopening in 2011. The Humber Valley Employment Corporation is a community organization that collaborates with its partners to facilitate the inclusion of individuals with disabilities into the labor force. Maintaining cleanliness in the park is essential to ensuring an enjoyable experience for residents and visitors, and therefore these services are an important part of our operations in the park. Be it resolved, Mr. Mayor, to approve the execution of a grant agreement with the Humber Valley Employment Corporation in the amount of $26,715, HST included, for cleaning service at Margaret Bowater Park. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Seconder on that?
Second, Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. Questions on this one? Again, as an annual agreement, been doing it forever. It's a great partnership. It works out very well for the city.
Mr. Mayor, does that include the washrooms?
Yes, I believe it does. Yep. Yeah, okay. No other questions?
Yep.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Come back and join us, deputy.
Not on that, just on Murder Park bathrooms. Can I ask it on?
Yeah?
Okay. I got a few calls from, there's a lot of field trips happening right now with the schools, and they're going over to enjoy Margaret Bowater Park.
Yep.
But they want to know if there was a way that we could open the washrooms, or how would they go about getting the washrooms open for the students during the day?
Yeah, I guess just do, Mr. Roberts, you have the,
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, the washrooms are actually open for the season now, so they should be
Oh,
open
yeah.
anyway for the
Perfect.
students.
in the contract. Yeah, I was just looking at the dates in the contract, so, yeah, they're within the date, so if not, we gotta get cracking.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, that would include Bartlett Point washrooms as well?
I don't.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that's
that
correct,
one
Bartlett's
too?
open as well, yes.
That one's not done through his contract,
No.
but it is something I think we time to see.
Okay,
Thank
perfect.
you.
Okay,
So before we move on, so
Yeah.
to be clear, the city staff locks and unlocks the washrooms? Or what we just awarded, they would do it?
the one, Bartlett's Point, correct me if I'm wrong, is opened by the city staff.
That's my understanding.
Yes, yeah. And the Bartlett's Point is.
No, at Margaret Bowater
That's done by-
now, like for the students would be city staff?
Yeah.
Yes, because they're not started yet, the canteen and all.
No, it's done by the Humber Valley Employment Corporation.
For now, for the schools?
No, for the opening the washroom.
No, I'm saying if class goes to Margaret Bowater Park
Yep.
tomorrow,
Yep.
who would open the washroom, city staff or who we signed it?
The corporation would,
Okay,
yeah. But it would be open at certain hours, right?
yep, yep, okay.
Okay. Okay, Councillor Pender, we have another great project here, Great Trail Enhancement Phase 2.
Yes,
Oh, sorry, before you get to that,
Yep.
I was asked to remind Mr. Charters, he had an update on Phase 1, there were some questions about that.
yes, I was talking to him before the meeting, Mr. Mayor. I was going to ask him about it after we did this, but we can do it now. if you
Oh,
want.
okay, well, maybe you can give an update on what you found out, there's a couple of things to follow up on?
Yeah, sure. As most people know, the Phase 1 of the Great Trail project was successfully completed last year. All of the major construction work is completed. We still have some things to do like hydro seeding, and we have to put the sign panels up. That's probably the most important piece this year under the contract. We've been working with you folks at the museum to make sure we got everything correct, and we'll install those later this year. Maintenance for the trail clearly is an issue for us. We understand there's a little bit of washout and some rough pieces, so we're working with our group this week to establish a memo of understanding to figure out how these trails are going to be maintained for us, so we're working on that. I'd also like to point out to folks that this is not for ATVs and dirt bikes. We had an awful time last year keeping folks off. There are gates that are going to be reinstalled, and we're going to take some measures to make sure that not only do those gates stay in place, but we can catch anybody that is, it tears the trails apart, so that's what we're working on there. So with that, any questions?
Okay.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I had emailed the director last week on those issues, so I appreciate that. I will say he is correct that you still see the ATV marks on the trail, so people are still using that, so it would be good to have the gates there. The surface is not built for them. Okay, so Mr. Mayor, we'll get to this tender, the next phase. The City of Corner Brook requested bids for Phase 2 of the Great Trail Enhancement, which will include the establishment of a continuous transportation and recreational route running along the City of Corner Brook waterfront from Mill Road to the Man in the Mountain Lookout. Tenders for the Great Trail Enhancement Phase 2, contract number 2024-11, closed on May 14th, 2024, with 2 bids received as follows. West Coast Excavating and Equipment Company Limited at $2,076,747.05, HST included, and Marine Contractors, Inc., $2,270,720.43, HST included. So the resolution be resolved that the City of Corner Brook, Council of the City of Corner Brook, award contract 2024-11, Great Trail Enhancement Phase 2, to West Coast Excavating and Equipment Company Limited in the amount of $2,076,774.05, HST included. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder on that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this one?
Not a question, just a comment, that I'm very pleased to see this moving forward so quickly after the completion, or almost completion of last year's work on the first phase. Anybody goes down there, the number of walkers and cyclers are, it's tremendous, the use that it's getting. I do have a couple maybe suggestions when we're doing the current one, and maybe the one that's existing on signage. And you know, as we get more and more people using them, it becomes a little complicated if you're on a bike or you're walking. A lot of people are walking with their headphones in, or they're walking on the other side of the trail and things like that. So I don't know if we can consider other trails where you might have some signage say, you know, keep right or whatever. Because what happens is you come up behind somebody on your bike, there's 2 people walking, and they don't hear you because they're talking or the wind's blowing or whatever. And you ring the bell a few times and you finally say, I'm on your left, and somebody jumps. One goes left, one goes right. You know, so a little bit of trail etiquette I think is important. And as well, where the trail crosses the roads, like O'Connell Drive, sightlines are not the best. Same with, I guess there's McEachran's, places like that. So some areas, the pavement is really rough. And I'm just wondering if there shouldn't be signs on the roads themselves warning motorists that there is a trail crossing there, because we have it on the trail, warning the walkers and the cyclists, but it's not on the roadways. So I think I was on O'Connell there a while ago, and you know, the car comes up pretty quick when they come around that turn up over the hill. So it might be, I don't know, if we put speed bumps or we put warning signs there or something, just because of the volume of people who are cycling and or walking, and then maybe continue that into this new contract as we go in those instances. Just a suggestion, Mr. Mayor, for staff to have a look at.
Great suggestions. I think there's a couple of things that we've talked about. There's something that came up actually earlier in, I mentioned the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And there was Blair, who is the proponent for that, who suffers from that condition as well, talked about paved paths as something that is a good feature of many places. Like Fredericton, I believe, has an extensive paved path with a dividing line that signals, I guess, keep right as you would in road rules kind of thing. And it is something, I have mentioned it as well to the director there, something we could consider down the road as well, because I know that it would also probably help with some of the erosion issues we're facing in that area as well. I know through curling there, we're seeing a lot of washouts.
Yeah,
and
there are a few spots like that.
yeah. So yeah, so we should learn some lessons from the last time and
Yeah,
try and fix them for sure.
thank you.
Good. Any other questions? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counter-minded? Carried. Okay. Next, we have an RFQ for vending services. Councillor Gill.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I'm just noting in here, and maybe I'm being ultra-sensitive or too cautious, but I'm just noting that the new recreation center is in there, and I have been excusing myself from everything to do with that because of conflict of interest.
Oh, that's a good point, but,
I just for consistency,
Yeah,
I'd just
well,
as soon step away, if that's okay with everybody else.
well, we can invite a motion to it and to declare one way or another if this particular.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that I'm in a conflict of interest.
Yeah, well, you can't do that, but.
No.
Oh, okay, well, somebody do it.
I'll make the motion. I don't see it as a conflict
Okay.
because this is a general
So make
contract,
make
but
that
I'll make the
motion that
motion.
she's not in a conflict if you
I'll
want.
make a motion she's not in a conflict of interest, Mr. Mayor, as it
Okay.
is a general contract for all the services across the city.
Excellent. Second on
I'll
that?
second that motion.
Second, perfect. Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counter-minded? Carried. You're in, sorry.
No, it's cool. Thank you for your confidence, colleagues. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the City of Corner Brook has issued a request for quotes for vending services at the following venues: the Civic Center, the Public Works Depot, City Hall, the Recreation Center, that's adjoined to Grenfell Campus, and the vending services are to provide soft drinks, sports drinks, juices, confectionery, snacks, and related items, the usual fare. The city received one proposal from W&E Enterprises Limited. Therefore, be it resolved to accept the quotation for vending services from W&E Enterprises Limited as attached. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder on that?
I'll second it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this one? Yes?
Are they the ones currently providing the vending machines right now? We're
Yep.
filling up, okay.
Any other questions? No? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Counter-minded? Carried. Okay, the next one is the Corner Brook Regional Recreation Center, and I bet you're going to declare a conflict there.
Yes, I'm
But
leaving now, hey,
Before that
you
too, because of the new rules on conflict of interest as well, I'm going to ask for counsel, because my wife is an employee, and the agreement includes benefits to employees, a discount, I think, on the general admission as well. So, Deputy Mayor, I'd ask you if you could chair a vote of, or a motion, entertain a motion on this one way or another.
Okay, and you want me to, because I'm supposed to read it out, so you want someone else to read it out?
No, before we get to a deal with
Oh,
conflict.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion that both yourself and Councillor Gill should be considered any conflict of interest.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sure.
Aye.
So we can go sit down.
All right.
We're all taking the back seat tonight.
You've got to chair this one and read it.
I gotta read it too?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, as per Article 211 of the ground lease between Memorial University Mon and the City of Corner Brook, the city signed with both parties on December 31st, 2021. Mon and the city are required to enter into an operating agreement with respect to the Corner Brook Regional Recreation Center, and it's addressing parking, cleaning, maintenance, capital repairs and upgrades, security and camera viewing, garbage removal and dumpsters, recycling, composting, daycare subsidy, gymnasium, guaranteed access membership special rates, operating hours, interior access from the campus, exam requirements, rec center as throughway, snow clearing and ice control, landscaping, and term. After extensive review by the city staff, including legal counsel, and MUN staff, including legal counsel, the attached operating agreement has been agreed upon in principle and was signed by MUN Board of Regents on Wednesday, May the 15th, 2024. The proposed resolution, be it resolved that council approve the attached operating agreement between Memorial University and the city of Corner Brook. I so move. Oh, I can't move.
I'll move the
Okay.
motion.
Seconder.
I'll second it,
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Okay, any questions? Any?
Yes, I have a question. This agreement, which is signed in principle by the Board of Regents, that does not indicate here who will be operating the actual aquatic center, right? It just indicates that the city's responsibility for the agreement between MUN and what our responsibility is as a city. But who will actually run the programming at the aquatic center? This is not a part of this, correct? Or am I incorrect?
Director
Through you,
Robinson?
Madam Chair, the city will be operating the aquatic center as per in the agreement. I have to find the exact clause, but it will be operated by the city.
So the city will be running the aquatic center, not some outside organization?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions?
Yes, Deputy Mayor, just on the funding, I guess that's included with this. So MUN also contributes to some of the joint costs through this agreement. I think it's a 50-50 basis through, for snow clearing and landscaping, things like that. I'm wondering if Director Robinson can give us just a little more detail on the funding arrangement between the city and MUN on the various aspects of this lease, the daycare and so on.
Yeah. Through you, Madam Chair, the funding for the daycare, the MUN will be providing a operational grant of $50,000 a year for the operation of the daycare. Additionally, they will be charging their students a recreation fee, and the city will be receiving 90% of that recreation fee that is charged per student. As far as snow clearing and that type of thing, any areas that are designated as city exclusive, the city will be responsible for the maintenance of those and the costs incurred with that. Anything that is a shared roadway or a shared parking area, the city and MUN will split 50-50 the cost of that maintenance.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, I have another question, or actually a couple questions.
Councilor Brenner?
First question, there is a, I believe, 25% discount for students at the university as well as employees and their families. That would include, correct me if I'm wrong, the fee that would be used for the actual use of the aquatic center. So that would be a 25% discount on the fee that would be used for anyone who wants to use the aquatic center, or would that be over and above? For example, if it's going to cost a resident of Corner Brook $400 for a season pass to use the aquatic center, will the students at Grenville campus and the staff at Grenville campus receive a 25% discount on that $400 fee, or is the use of the aquatic center separate from the total fee or the total fee package?
Yeah, through you, Madam. So it will be, for students will be different because they have to pay that recreation fee, so that covers their membership exclusively. So students aren't included in that, but any membership fee per se for the staff or faculty of MUN would be the $400 less 25%, and that would give them access to the entire facility as a membership.
I used the number $400. I have no idea what the amount will be. So for a resident, it will be $400. For a staff member at Grenville campus, it'll be $300 if it's a 25% discount. So thanks for the explanation. There's a considerable amount in this document. and I just had a chance just to ask 2 questions, and we've only had this for a few days, really, late last week. Considering that, I'm wondering, is there a time frame by which, I know it's been, a draft copy has been signed. I'm wondering, is there a deadline by which the city has to give approval? And wondering if we could have, perhaps until the next meeting, just so that we can review this in detail and bring back any more questions that we might have. Madam Chair.
Director Robinson?
Through you, Madam Chair, the preference would be to have this signed as soon as we are able, recognizing that there is time needed to also be able to review it. This would be not so much considered a draft copy as would be considered the final copy, the copy that as staff we are comfortable with, and legal counsels from both the MUN and city are comfortable with, and the MUN Board of Regents have signed it with the understanding that this would be the copy pending any alterations that our council would seek to make.
Just a follow-up to that. So what process would we have to go through to make any particular changes? For example, if we wanted to not be 25%, I'm just using that as just one example, but there could be others there. So what process would we have to go to in order to make the recommendations of any changes? If this is the first time, and I know staff has done a great job, but this is the first time that we've seen it, unless it was given to us and I didn't see, but I don't think it's come across my table only in the last few days. So I'm just wondering what the process will we go through as a council if we need to suggest a change or changes. I really don't want to put people on the spot, but if we had 2 weeks to the next meeting, or if that's a possibility, we can voice our concerns if there are any. Perhaps I'm the only one that got a couple of concerns, but there could be other stuff there. There's a lot of stuff in this particular document that probably needs to be discussed.
Director Charles?
Through you, Madam Chair. First of all, I want to thank these 2 gentlemen for, this has been a long, difficult process. I would suggest the sooner we sign this, the better. That way we can start outfitting the building, getting staff moved into their spaces, getting the folks into the daycare. Any delays on this or any changes at this point are not going to happen quickly. This has gone back and forth with our team, the MUN team, the lawyers. This has been a very long process, and I would suggest that any changes would delay this much longer than just the next council meeting.
Madam Chair, I do appreciate the work that's gone into this, and I know it's very extensive on the part of the university and their board and our staff. I do know that, because when you look at the extensive amount of material in the document, you can tell that there's months and months and months of effort gone into this. And I don't want to uphold it, sorry to deny it, but there's a lot of stuff in this particular document that I'd just like to have a few days to really go through. And I don't know if other councillors feel the same, but that's where I'm too. That's just my thoughts on it. And my final thought is, like, we've agreed to things in the past, and the public hasn't seen this document, and I'm sure that if we raise questions there, even on the 25%, when you have a senior, are we going to have, for example, a discount for a senior at 25%? Because the first thing a senior is going to say to everyone sitting around this table a year or 2 down the road would be, or not even a year or 2 down the road, just prior to opening, when they want to go and purchase a aquatic pass. Well, I'm 65 years old, 70 years old, 75 years old, I enjoy swimming, I'm on a fixed income, and I got to pay $400, or the city will give me a 10% discount. And at the same time, if I'm a faculty member at Granville campus, I get a 25% discount, so $400 becomes $300, as opposed to $380, $390. That's just one, and I'm sure there are other stuff embedded in that, and I don't want to hold up the process of hiring staff and those kinds of things, but I think a thorough review we haven't had a chance to review, and I know there were lawyers involved, staff were involved, and now it's our turn to make a decision on it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Councillor Pender?
Madam Chair, thank you. I understand the council's concerns, but reading through the agreement over the weekend and just reviewing it here with our questions that are being asked on specific funding, this agreement is, and maybe, I don't know if staff can answer this question, it might help alleviate one of your concerns. Councillor, is that this is between the city and MON entities, employees and students and so on are covered under this. It doesn't say anything about how the city will sell memberships or whatever to residents. Am I correct in that?
Yes, through you, Madam Chair, that's correct. We haven't established those parts yet.
So in the sense of seniors discounts, things like that, or youth or whatever, or groups, the city will be, I understand, setting the rates for those individuals and groups, separate from this agreement as we see fit, because we're responsible to operate and pay the salaries and collect the revenues and so on for what the city operates. Is that correct, through you, Madam Chair?
Yeah, through you, Madam, that's correct.
Okay. So rates for seniors could be set by the city council or staff at a future point?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so that shouldn't be an issue in this matter. We do have a sum of money from the daycare. I mean, I have no idea what that costs, thankfully these days, but I'll leave that to staff. You've negotiated that. I don't have a problem with that. As for the other items that are, either cost shared or however that works, we do have a section in there for, we do know that Grenfell or MUN will use the gymnasium for various activities, and there's an agreement with that. There's a fee on that as well. Am I correct on that, that they would pay so much per hour for prime time and after hours on weekends and things like that for the use of the gym, Madam Chair?
Through you, Madam, that is partially correct. They will have a certain allotment of time that they are able to use free of charge. Anything above and beyond that, they'll be charged at the normal rate.
Okay, that clarifies that. And MUN does have, as they do now, they do have the opportunity to use it for special events and special activities with suitable notice to the city ahead of time?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. I have a quick question now. Exam requirements, that would be, the gymnasium will be closed during exam week, Director?
Yeah, through you, Madam, and that would just be as a last resort. The operating agreement stipulates that once they've exhausted all other possible options, then they would consider the gymnasium as an exam location.
Okay,
So, Madam Chair,
go ahead.
yeah, no, I'm satisfied that this reflects the original agreement going back to, I think it was 2021, the intent of that agreement. And I do appreciate that there are some questions, but I also appreciate the timeframes. And I believe for this fall, it's written in there somewhere, that we have to have schedules in place at least 45 days before the beginning of the semester. So if we were to wait for 2 weeks and then have to go back, if the Board of Regents had to change something or whatever, we would be risking not being available or having this available on time. So I'm prepared to move forward with it this evening.
No, just a comment. I appreciate the councillor's concern, but me too. I think the trenches are done. Our guys have been in there. I think they're seeing stuff and addressing stuff that I wouldn't. That's not my world. What you're dealing with, and if you guys say it's good, and the Board of Regents says it's good to go, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah, just one final comment, Madam Chair, after listening to Councillor Pender and others. I'm not saying that we need to, delay it a long period of time. I'm satisfied with what the councillor said. I'm also, now that the question was answered with regard to fees for seniors and fees for the general public, that we will have an opportunity here at this table to discuss that around this table with regard to before we implement a fee structure for, in particular, the use of the aquatic center, that it come back to us such that it's not, that it's something special for, students and seniors alike, those that are on fixed incomes, and meets our requirements by which to sustain operations of the aquatic center.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, just one final comment, and I agree with Councillor Granter's comments with respect to seniors, because when we first undertook to build a new swimming pool at the beginning and a recreation center, there were a lot of seniors that came forward and said they needed this for their health, for, some people have injuries and things like that, and this is a good way to, work back into shape and things like that. So as long as the council can decide, or the city with the council decide, what are the rates and so on for our seniors, if there's discounts and so on. It's a large membership and a large part of our population. And so as long as we can give them some special consideration ourselves, I'm quite fine with that.
Okay. Any more comments?
Madam
Okay,
Chair,
call. Okay, sorry.
one more comment. The negotiation process was very difficult, and I think it's fair to say that we got the best possible deal we could get. Grenfell, this is strictly between the city and Grenfell, and most certainly, we will work on the rate structures for the public, and we can absolutely bring that back to council for their input before we recommend approval of that. But again, any delays is going to be extremely difficult to meet our timelines, to get the building open and get the public enjoying this facility.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I would echo those comments, Madam Chair, especially with the summer coming and people away and so on. It would just, not be possible, I don't think. So the only other comment is, I think we all realize and we should know that this is going to require subsidy, more than likely, of the residents of the city of Corner Brook, much like our civic center. And once we get into a year or two, I guess, of operation, we'll have a better idea of what that's going to be. We can estimate it, but we won't know until then. So just so there's no big surprises when we, do a budget and next year we put in a subsidy, it should be expected. It's something I think has been expected since the beginning. So just put that out there now so that people are aware of it.
Just one more thing. I just wanted to add that this is a 5-year agreement, correct? So after 5 years, we can see how things are working, and if there are changes that council sees that we really need at that time, we could renegotiate. So it's not a 20-year document.
Thank you, Director.
Call for the question,
Call for
Madam
the
Chair.
question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? No. Thank you. Come on back.
Thank you very much. Wow, wouldn't want to be doing that very many times. It's really hard to stay quiet. Okay, up next, we have the the asphalt paving consultant fee. Councillor Pender.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City of Corner Brook requires inspection services for the 2024 asphalt paving season. These services comprise of on-site inspections, reporting, and quality assurance of the construction. This proposal covers the consulting services of All Rock Consulting Limited and their duties, rights, and obligations as related to asphalt paving inspection services. The motion be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook approve the consultant fee proposal from All Rock Consulting Limited in the amount of $63,733, HST included, for the consulting services related to the Asphalt Paving Program 2024 inspection services. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder on that? Seconded. Okay, questions on this one? Any questions?
How does that, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
How does that compare to last year? Like, are we up or are we down?
Well, I think that there is a per ton
Okay.
number there. I don't know what the overall budget was. I can't remember if anyone recalls what it was last year.
I
You get a
understand.
volume discount, it looks like.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter. I just wondered if we were on par or just about or
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
39.7% less
less?
over last year, due to the larger
Well,
volume.
per
of-
ton.
Okay.
Per ton.
Yeah. So it might be about the same, maybe.
The actual overall cost.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? So this is for the inspection, so of course this
Yes.
isn't
Name.
the doing, it's to make sure it's good, done right. Okay, I'll vote, let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counter-minded, carried. And the nice one, Councilor Pender, asphalt paving program.
This is the one everybody wants. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City of Corner Brook has requested bids to replace asphalt and do road repairs in numerous areas of the city which require intensive repairs and new asphalt. There was an assessment completed by staff to determine a street rehabilitation program. Tenders for the asphalt paving program 2024-12 closed on May 24, 2024, with one bid received from Ring Contractors, Inc. in the amount of $3,569,085.95, HST included. Be resolved that the City of Corner Brook Council award the contract for the asphalt paving program 2024-12 to Marine Contractors, Inc. in the amount of $3,569,085.95, HST included. I so move.
So move, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Second, Mr. Mayor, sorry.
It's all good.
We got you. Questions on this one? So it's up a little bit, we'll adjust quantities, I'm assuming, depending on, so we might have to add a few, or remove a few items depending on what we can get done.
That's correct. It's about 10% higher than per ton than it was last year, so this is typical every year. We get the tender price, and then we'll adjust the quantities and go from there to meet the budget.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I believe our staff are already out actually marking the streets. Some people have noticed some markings on the road, and they're very hopeful that that means that their road is going to be paved, or the section of pavement in front of them is going to be paved. But I'm suspecting that they're not complete yet, so we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
I guess I want to say, just because the markings are there, it doesn't mean it's going to get done if they run out of pavement or other things happen.
Yeah, now we also, and just to let people know, the last number of years, our engineering department does use a program to monitor the condition and age of different roads. So some roads are beyond repair and need to be full rebuilds, and they're not able to be done under the paving program. There has to be more extensive work done. And some are, they're at a certain point where they can be saved, so we mill like a part of the asphalt and put some new stuff on. So there is a very scientific approach to this these days. I'm very happy. The council, again, tries to stay out of this. It's not a political football for anyone. We try to get the most bang for the buck and keep the roads in good shape as we can.
And Mr. Mayor, that's a good point, because you'll notice some markings on roads that you look at them and say, gee, that doesn't look too bad. Well, that's the point. We catch it before it goes beyond the repair status, I guess. And as you said, others are beyond that and have to be completely redone.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes?
There are obviously some streets that need a major overhaul. I mean, you know, piping, water, sewer, and everything like that. Is there a list that, you know, like, that we obviously do them, and, you know, when we get the money, we kind of tick them off kind of thing? Is there a list that we have?
The best list we have for something like that is our multi-year capital. So you look at our multi-year capital list, we typically have maybe a dozen or more projects in a 3-year span, and those include road rebuilds and
Yes.
things like that. And that's something that engineering is continually monitoring and trying to figure out. These bigger projects, we can't just do those tomorrow. They
Yeah.
they do require help from the province or from the
Yes,
province and
absolutely.
feds, of course. So there are like bigger projects like we're seeing this year with Deep Gulch, what we're seeing around Petries for the
Yep.
storm sewer down those areas. These would be, that's how the engineering staff would keep up on those.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, and just for those keeping score, and I'm always curious to know, I see $265 a ton. That's for this year. One year when I started, it went 180 and went back to 140.
Yeah.
And now we're at 265. Councilor Pender, when you were in office.
Oh, I've seen that $65 a ton.
Yeah,
And
that's
less.
right. Oil is, and tar is expensive now, for sure. Okay, any other questions before we vote? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contraminded? Carried. Councilor Gill, our 2073 tax recovery plan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Department of Municipal and Provincial Affairs requires all municipalities to prepare and approve an annual tax recovery plan. The tax recovery plan outlines the tax balances that are outstanding at the end of each year and the methods available to the city for collections. At the end of 2023, total outstanding taxes amounted to $2.7 million from 1,060 different properties. This is up slightly from $2.62 million and 1,036 properties at the end of 2022. The city will continue to use the various collection tools, including water shutoffs, rental seizures, tax sales, or legal action to recover outstanding business and property taxes. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook approve the 2023 tax recovery plan as attached. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder on that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this one?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
This is very similar to actions that have been taken in the past. There's nothing, no departure here from previous tactics that we've used and approved previously.
And Mr. Maestri, there's nothing new here, right?
No, it's exactly the same, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Counter-minded? Carried. Okay, Councillor Gill, we have the 2023 annual expenditure report for the Canada Community Building Fund Agreement, which is also known as gas tax.
Thank you. As per the requirements of the Canada Community Building Fund Agreement, each year the city is required to prepare and approve a report showing a full and detailed statement of revenue and expenditures of the city related to the Canada Community Building Fund Agreement on an annual basis. In 2023, the city received $943,497 in funding and spent $769,281 on paving projects. At the end of 2023, the city had a $3,039,582 million worth of funds available for additional projects. Therefore, be it resolved to approve the annual expenditure report for Canada Community Building Fund Agreement funding for 2023 as presented. I so move. Ooh, tongue twister.
Thank you. Seconder on this?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this one?
Mr. Mayor, I'll just say, I appreciate the draft, the spreadsheet that was attached to this, which outlines where the money has gone exactly, like paving, Humber Road, Sunny Slope, Elizabeth, Mount Bernard. All those streets are listed there that have been paved with this money, as well as some other items that we've done with road upgrades and, you know, things like that. So if anybody's interested where the money goes, all that information is available.
Absolutely. And this is gas tax we are able to use for paving, and quite often we use it for toward our paving contribution. Okay, any other questions? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Counter-minded? Carried.
Mr. Mayor, not a question, but it
Yes.
just dawned on me, what are we gonna do when we all have electric vehicles and we're not paying gas? How are we gonna pave our roads then?
I'll tell you, the Canadian Community Building Fund, we gets ridiculed a little bit at events like FCM. Of course, it was always called the gas tax fund. Either way, I love it because it's based on your population, and it's not based on, you know you're gonna get it.
That's right.
And so we've been lobbying a lot of municipalities for years. We've seen some doubling of the fund occasionally, but if we could get that funding on a regular basis and let us decide as municipalities how we spend it, we'd be a lot better off, because we are very good at managing our finances here in the city. For sure. Electric cars aside. Daycare operating agreement, Councillor Granter. Now, I will say with this one, there is some provision here because of the agreement with Memorial. But now, again, I don't have any kids in daycare. So I will ask council to tell me if I am in a conflict of interest on this.
Ditto.
It's not, the subject of the agreement is the YMCA, of course, but there is a mention of our relationship with wanting this, because they are, of course, they do get priority on a number of the spots.
Okay, you're not in a conflict.
Yeah. I
Are we
would
moving forward, you're not in a conflict?
I'd second that.
Really?
I will let you chair that.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry, just,
Yep.
because you just said something, I just wanted to clarify. So there are spots reserved for mom in this?
Yes.
Even though you don't have children?
Yeah,
There.
at that age, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor?
I guess I could have children at that age.
Well, I'm just wondering, like, it extends beyond your immediate family, right? You and yourself, so.
In my immediate family, I guess this would only apply to,
No, our conflict of interest guidelines, I'm just thinking it applies to brothers, sisters.
I don't have anyone else to work with
Okay.
on, so, yeah.
I would just like to put out there that I did sit on the original committee about 15 years ago that wanted to have a daycare at Grenfell campus, so I have some strong feelings about it. But my kid's 19, so, but I'm going to throw that out there for you to chew on.
I will leave that to
Okay. Oh.
the deputy now to
I second.
wrangle this
Okay,
mess.
so, who wants to make a motion, because I can't, I'm Chair.
Madam Chair, I'm going to make a motion that there is a conflict, and I'll say this, when in doubt, move them out. And we don't have any questions after the fact that, did we do the right thing?
I'll second that motion, Madam Chair.
Okay,
Call for the question.
call for the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Hear, hear. We're getting our steps in.
Better safe
Back.
than somebody can be questioning after.
This will be a quick one, Mr. Mayor.
You get your steps in.
Oh, I'm doing this one, right?
Councillor Grantor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The new Corner Brook Regional Recreation Centre will feature a 32-space daycare facility. An RFP was published on January 15, 2024, and closed on February 16, 2024, inviting parties interested in operating the daycare that will be located in the Corner Brook Regional Recreation Centre. Only one submission was received. The only proposal was submitted by YMCA of Western Newfoundland, Inc., YMCA. The attached operating agreement between the YMCA and the City of Corner Brook defines the relationship between and responsibilities of each party. Please note that the approval of this operating agreement is contingent on the approval of the operating agreement between Memorial University of Newfoundland and the City of Corner Brook. Proposed resolution, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook award the operation of the daycare at the Corner Brook Regional Recreation Centre to the YMCA of Western Newfoundland, Inc., and be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook approves the attached operating agreement between the YMCA of Western Newfoundland, Inc. and the City of Corner Brook. So moved, Mr. Mayor. Madam Chair.
Second, Madam Chair.
Okay, and get a seconder?
I second
Discussion,
it.
questions?
Madam Chair, if I may, I'm very pleased to see the YMCA involved with this. They were at the table with the other communities around us right at the very beginning. They actually helped lead a survey in the community of what the needs were between, the swimming pool at the time, which is now our aquatic center, daycare, all those types of things. They have a long reputation as well in dealing with daycares and operating them, so quite pleased to see that they did come forward and that we have potentially an agreement to work with them for the operation of the daycare, so thank you.
Yeah, no questions for me.
Any more questions?
No.
Okay, call for the questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Contraminded? So moved.
Thank you very much. That was a little easier, hey, Deputy?
Yeah.
Okay. So next we have, this is a rerun. Councilor Griffin, municipal plan amendment and development regulation amendments.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh, sorry.
what is this one?
This is the Corner Brook Municipal Plan number 2401, development regulations amendment.
I think that's the one I'm in a conflict on, Mr. Mayor.
Purple Pinkston?
Oh,
Purple
yes.
Pinkston? Yeah, I
Okay,
read it as
so-
something different.
So unless there's any,
Yeah, that is
is
it.
there any conflict? Anyone-
Well, there is conflict.
Sorry, does anyone have any objection to Councilor being in conflict?
No.
Okay, no?
Thank you.
Man, this is a
Oh, Lord.
musical chairs today.
New regulations.
Yeah, so this one was done before, but go ahead.
Okay, so we're doing 6-1, right?
Yep.
Okay. Background information, the purpose of this, the Corner Brook Development Regulations Amendment Number 24-01, Section 16. The purpose of this map amended is to rezone city-owned land on the north side of Corporal Pinson Memorial Drive from Mosaic Residential to Innovation District. This council request is for adoption of amendment number 24-01. This amendment was adopted April 17, 2024. However, due to a publishing issue with the public hearing notice, the public hearing was required to be rescheduled as per URPA 2000. A revised resolution with the new public hearing date is proposed. Proposed resolution be resolved that the council of the City of Corner Brook, number 1, adopt proposed map amendments number 24-01 To the City of Corner Brook Integrated Municipal Sustainability Plan 2012. Number 2, adopt proposed map and text amendment number 24-01 to the City of Corner Brook 2012 Development Regulations. Number 3, set Thursday, June the 20th, 2024, 7 p.m. in the Hutchings Room at City Hall for the tentative public hearing. Number 4, authorize staff to give statutory notice of adoption of the proposed amendments. 5, authorize staff to cancel the public meeting in the event that no objections are received or no member of the public expresses intent to attend the public hearing 48 hours prior to the tentative public hearing. And number 6, appoint Mark Mills to preside over the scheduled public hearing. I so move.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Questions on this one? Yes.
Could we explain to the public the difference between the Mosaic Residential and Innovation District?
Oh, who would like to do that? Maybe Mr. Charters. You love planning issues like this.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Mosaic residential is a specific type of residential where the density in the development residential changes. High density, medium density, and low density throughout the area. This piece of property became problematic because it was difficult to get all of those densities on this size of a property. You'll notice in the mapping that around it is Innovation District, and the Innovation District gives us a lot more flexibility on what can be done on the property.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
As I said, this one came before. We had to
Yes.
have a technical issue to deal with. So let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Come back and join us, Councilor Pender. Now, Councilor Griffin, we have a proposed street closure, Todd Street.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City of Corner Brook has received an application to close a portion of Todd Street along the U and Draw Hotel as shown on the attached drawing. The purpose of the street closure is to accommodate a summer event tent and fenced area from the period of July 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2024. This road closure and event tent was in place for the 2023 season with few issues. The event tent and fencing will remain in place throughout this period and will be removed at the end of the season. If approved, it will be required that the applicant follow the attached safe access drawing, which includes entry points and the installation of required safety signage at their cost. Be it resolved, it is resolved to approve the application to close a portion of Todd Street along the U and Draw Hotel for the purpose of accommodating a summer event tent from the period of July 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2024. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder on that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this one? Yes.
I think that worked out quite well last year, didn't it? It's,
Yeah, I don't recall hearing any issues there at all.
No, I was going to ask the same thing. It says with few issues, so do we know what issues they had?
Yeah, I don't.
Nothing.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, they
Oh,
were just
sure.
minor,
Yeah,
people not
okay.
seeing the signs, not having the right,
Yeah, okay, perfect.
yeah,
Thank you.
minor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Okay, next, yes, we have the discretionary use for wood harvesting in the watershed. Deputy Mayor, would you walk us through this one, please?
thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City of Corner Brook Planning and Development Department received an application from Corner Brook Pulp and Paper Limited, CBPPL, to harvest approximately 330 hectares of forest and construction of approximately 2.5 kilometers of forest access roadway in the vicinity of Corner Brook Lake in the protected water supply area zone. A forestry classification of this use is a discretionary use of the City of Corner Brook development regulations for this zone. A public notice has was placed in the local newspaper as well as online and through social media. As a result of this notice, the city received 114 pieces of correspondence. The correspondence included mostly emails, but also did have some written letters. The main area of concern was number one, possible contamination of water supply, possible fuel leaks from equipment in the area finding their way into the water bodies. Number two, increased risk of erosion. 3, disruption of the ecosystem balance, habitat loss, impacts on caribou, fish, and introduction of paleogenic microbes from adjacent lands. Number 4, introduction of organics and inorganics in the water course, eventually finding their way to the water supply. This could possibly affect the water treatment plant, causing issues. Number 5, impacts on natural filtering capabilities in the area. It was also noted a couple of times that the watershed management plan was created in 2009, and things have changed globally in regard to climate. What may have been acceptable risk back then may not be true today, and the plan should be evaluated as flood events are most likely now. CBPPL harvesting request has been discussed with City Watershed Management Committee on February the 16th to 28th, April the 23rd, 2024. Throughout each meeting, the committee compiled a list of items that required further investigation. City staff have investigated items and concerns outlined by the committee, and the committees did recommend approval of this application subject to a number of conditions contained in the attached memo for the City Manager of Development and Planning. As a result of the information contained within the submitted application and supporting documentation, the result to the public notice, and the input from Watershed Management Committee and Development Planning Department is recommending approval of the application submitted by Corner Brook Pulp and Paper Limited to harvest approximately 330 hectares of forest and construct approximately 2.75 kilometers of forest access roadway in the vicinity of Corner Brook Lake. The proposed resolution: be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook approve the application for Corner Brook Pulp and Paper Limited, CBPPL, to harvest approximately 330 hectares of forest and construct approximately 2.75 kilometers of forest access roadway in the vicinity of Corner Brook Lake, as per staff of and the Watershed Management Committee recommended attached. I so move.
Thank you. A seconder on that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this?
I have something that I'd like to say, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
I've had knots in my stomach over this, and I lost sleep over it on the weekend. So I wrote it down because I was afraid I was going to go off track. Mr. Mayor, first of all, I would like to thank the Watershed Management Committee and our own staff for their work on this file. I trust and respect our staff. However, given the public nature of this issue and the fact that the public put me in this chair, I feel compelled to weigh in on this, and I may not be that popular with our staff when I'm done. I would also like to apologize for this 11th hour statement. We've been aware of this application for about 3 months, and I should have asked these questions long before now. To begin, I would like to register that I have consulted with a number of experts on this topic. I'm fortunate, working at a university, to be able to access scholars who are conducting research exactly in this area. The general consensus, very generally, is that harvesting trees within a watershed can be okay, but only if a number of conditions are in place. Harvesting old growth trees in a coordinated, managed fashion can reduce pests, such as spruce budworm, and reduce the threat of forest fires. On the West Coast, our forest stands are not what we would call fire-driven. They're primarily balsam fir, and are more susceptible to insect infestations. In Central, on the other hand, where the stands are primarily spruce, fire is a significant threat, as we've witnessed in the past. So here are some questions that I need answers to before I can vote on this today. After having read the 114 submissions from the public consultation, it's clear to me that the bulk of respondents are reacting from a knee-jerk, emotional, and generally environmentally concerned perspective that is not necessarily an educated perspective. But I get it, because I did the knee-jerk and emotional thing too, so totally get it. Perhaps if the proponent held an information session to explain exactly how and why they are requesting this harvest, our residents would be more trusting of the process. Why does Corner Brook Pulp and Paper have to harvest wood within our drinking water watershed? Surely there are other forest stands that come with far fewer risks, perceived or real. What is the scale of the proposed harvest? I know how many hectares it is, but will it be done in one big, large clear cut, smaller, precisely determined selection based on the condition of the trees? What exactly is the plan? Relatedly, do we have their harvesting plan at the ready for us to peruse? While the proposed buffer is more than adequate, I'm told it is actually larger than required by legislation, which is good. Will harvesting take into account that large cuts could leave forest stands vulnerable to wind, thereby negating the buffer if these trees were to be blown down? This speaks to the aforementioned harvesting plan. What kinds of purpose-built, as is mentioned in our documentation, harvesting machines will be used? There's a difference between whether they have rubber tires or tracks, for instance. What does it mean that Corner Brook Pulp and Paper holds a blanket permit with Water Resources and DFO? Will the sites being harvested be considered poor with respect to shallow soil depth, greater slope, lack of nutrients, and erosion vulnerability, or would they be classified as resilient sites, less likely to succumb to erosion and water runoff and silt production? I'm nearly finished, bear with me. Will there be a third-party validation at the site to monitor the harvest plan? I know it's built in there for other things, but at the site, if approved, to ensure everything is being adhered to. And given, and this is a big one, given our own watershed management plan was devised in 2009, which is acknowledged here, are we confident that the discretionary areas should really be at council's discretion rather than mandatorily off limits? And I just want to quote from, oh God, I had it here, here it is. The committee drew a great deal of information from the plan, 2009. This plan was developed to assess risk, blah, 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 blah. You can all read it. And it is clear that the plan always assumed forestry activities would continue to occur within this area. I'm questioning that. How will we ensure that the new road built for the extraction of wood is properly governed to ensure that ATVs, snowmobiles, and other disturbances are unable to access the watershed? One of our own operators at our water treatment facility expressed concern that if harvest results in sediment, the plant might not be able to adequately process the water. Have we investigated what the limitations of our own system are? And finally, have we considered the political and tourism ramifications of allowing this activity, given our stance that Corner Brook is, quote unquote, a green community that values natural environment? In conclusion, I would like to reiterate that I am not averse to Corner Brook Pulp and Paper's application in theory. There have been wood harvests in watersheds in Canada that have been carried out responsibly and to the betterment of the forest landscape for some of the reasons I mentioned earlier. But I require answers to my questions before I can vote in good conscience. If we cannot answer these questions today, then I propose we err on the side of caution. And in the world of environmental science where there is high uncertainty and incomplete knowledge, researchers and practitioners alike use the precautionary principle. If we can't answer all the questions, I would like to invoke that principle and suggest that we defer a decision at this time. In fact, I would like to suggest that we implement a moratorium on all wood harvest within the entirety of the watershed until we get the answers and we review our own watershed management plan so that it is up to date and reassessed using current day information. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone else? Any questions?
I have a comment.
Yeah.
If you're looking for comments, Mr. Mayor?
Sure.
Okay. I guess from the public comments and phone calls received regarding the proposed harvesting in the watershed, it was clear. There are concerns on the possible impact of the forestry activity in protecting, and I guess that's the word that was said to me over and over and over again, protecting the city's water supply. These concerns suggested a more preventative approach rather than a reactive. What will we do if there's a spill? What will we do if something happens? It's too late when an event has occurred that's impacting our water. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, Mr.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, just a couple points. You know, anytime we disturb ecology, environment, there's always a danger. We've seen controlled developments in residential neighborhoods whereby we've removed trees, punched in roads, subdivisions, and left neighborhoods with flooding in basements, flooding in their back parts of their properties, and so on and so forth. And that's a controlled development. Not to say that this development is not a controlled development. And one other point, my understanding, I could be corrected by, as an armchair person with regard to sitting there at this table with regard to development of Corner Brook Pulp and Paper, but it's my understanding that it's only 4% of the total volume of wood to be harvested in that particular area over the next 5 years. So if it's only 4% for this particular area, it would garner the question, why do they need to move into that particular area anyway? If they're only going to harvest 4% of the material in that area in the next 5 years, tell me that they don't need to be in the area anyway at this current time, which would give us ample opportunity to review the proposals as Councillor referenced and look at it at a further date. But as it stands right now, I'm not in a position to vote in favor of this proposal.
Order. Councillor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to start with, going back to 1997 when we had issues with our water supply with beaver fever and other parasites in our water. And it took us until 2015 to get a $70 million water treatment plant, which is located up on the highway there at the bottom of the watershed and is our only source of water now, not only for Corner Brook, but for Massey Drive and for Mount Moriah. I know we have the other one in Curlin, but it's not being maintained, so this is our only water supply. The watershed management plan was based on what we knew back in pre-2009 when it was adopted, and is certainly dated given today's reality with climate change and other considerations, I guess, that we probably didn't consider back in 2009. I did have some questions as well as how do we mitigate, for instance, on-site management of spills? Would there be a third-party verification or somebody there if a hydraulic hose breaks or something like that, because these things do happen? How they were intending on harvesting, was it selective harvesting or was it heavy equipment going in? Was it clear cutting and those types of things, which I don't think we've really got any information on. I'm really concerned about the overall impact as well as harvesting this wood, and then the impact on erosion and slope and things like that, and the construction of the road and how that opens up the watershed to other uses as has been noted. So with that said, Mr. Mayor, and again, I think also not just for council, but even just for the general public, like there was no opportunity for a presentation to the public to come out and say, here's what we're intending to do, here's how we're going to do it. And I think the onus is on the company really to have perhaps proposed that and said, look, we have a paper mill here in the city, it's an important employer, we all understand that, it contributes greatly to the economy, both municipally and provincially. However, there's an onus on them as well to explain why they want to go in there, what is the need. And, when you have, I don't think I've seen as many emails on one topic from the general public, and, given that we don't have much in terms of a newspaper or, other presence where residents can have all that information, I certainly cannot support this application.
Councillor Griffin, you're the only one left.
No pressure.
No pressure, no. Well, I'm going to do this the way I do everything I've done since I came into Chambers, and I refer this to back when, in my days as a fire inspector and different things like that. I don't know squat about forestry, about the water supply, about how it works when it rains and how it works. No, I mean, what we're saying that might happen Can that happen now? Can that happen now? So what have we done to stop that? You know what I'm saying? I'm not, again, like Councillor Gill, I'm just, this is stuff I deal with. I don't know anything about this stuff. This is why for me, and I could be wrong, and I know you don't agree with me, but I'm the one that got to live with me. And for me is, I always talk to those who supposedly knew what they were talking about. Then I would make my decision. But I think all these things that might happen if we do this, again, I'll go back to it. Like, Curling had a water supply, and we had trucks going right alongside of it. So you could have had a line break. We could have had a gas spill. We could have, you know, and I guess what I'm saying is that I'm not totally convinced that it's a bad thing, as I'm not really convinced that it's a good thing either, because I really don't, I'm not versed in that. So the only thing I can do, the only decision I can make that I can live with is to speak to those who are versed in it. And it's like, you know, I go back to, you can have a criminal trial, and the prosecution will bring an expert witness, and the defense will bring an expert witness who are experts, but say something entirely different. How does that happen? If you know your job, you're either right or you're wrong. So how can two people say the exact opposite? Makes no sense to me. So I'm thinking is like, you know, if you're going to go and you can start a petition and you can get any, you can find whatever it is you're looking for. You know, I'm not denying that. And I understand these people come here and, you know, all respect in the world to you all. I really do. But I make my decisions based on how I think. And I'm just not convinced that, I don't know. I got to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know how it works. But I'm saying, well, what's going to be different with this one than it's not there now? That's my thing.
Order.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Deputy Mayor, I would like to say a few words. So again, you will assume the chair if you would. I just want to, first of all, thank everyone for their input on this whole thing. It's been a real eye-opening opportunity. I chair the Watershed Management Committee as per my duties, council dictates. And that group, of course, consists of forestry, water management professionals, community representatives, and city and town representatives as well. And they are a font of knowledge. Many of them are aware of the document when it was created in 2009, but they are active professionals in the watershed management of other areas. The document there that the staff prepared that reflects the committee's recommendations is very thorough. It is, the document is very good. It did assume development of the watershed for forestry purposes for a long time. Assume that that will continue. It has been happening for years, up to a century ago, including in 2018 there was development as well. The concerns are all very valid. The concerns we heard from the public, the concerns we heard from even the staff were very valid, and hence why you can see the arm's length list of conditions on this to make sure that things are done correctly. The committee itself was very satisfied and very comfortable, to my surprise, with this development occurring. It has occurred in the past, like I said. The processes for forestry and the 100-year history of Corner Brook Pulp and Paper in doing responsible management of the forest in this area is evidence to their, to their conclusion that it is a valuable development and it should occur. The staff as well had concerns. Of course, they operate our water plant. And those were addressed as well, as you can see, with some additional considerations, testing considerations to make sure siltation's not happening. Like you said, meeting and exceeding provincial buffers for these kind of things. The slopes you mentioned, that is considered in the management plan, and there are recommendations for, how things are supposed to be done. And as you can see, there are conditions on, you can only harvest on certain slopes. Winter and midsummer harvesting, and to limit that kind of runoff and erosion practices, use of 8-wheel forwarders, things like that. And the other thing is that I've been told their standards are required for the selling of their paper. So the European Union, for example, does regulate them quite heavily to make sure that they're doing environmentally sound practices, or they can't sell their paper. So it is, I think that the science here is very sound. I do understand the concerns completely, and in a bubble, if we could do nothing, it makes complete sense not to do anything. But it isn't that simple. As you mentioned, there are concerns with proper forest management, forest fires, insect infestations, things like that. So this is a mature stand of wood, and I think Councillor Granter mentioned why now. I think the answer is it's that time to, it's the cycle of the forestry development that this has to be done now. And it would make sense for them to do this now as part of their 5-year plan that they submitted to environment as well with the province. So for that reason, again, I would support the development, but I completely understand the objection to it, and that's it.
Mr.
And-
Mayor?
Yes.
You done?
I'm done, so I will reestablish, unless you want to jump in before I,
Sorry, Madam
No.
Chair, I forgot.
No, you go ahead. You're-
I'm done.
You're done, okay, so you're on.
Okay, yep.
Okay.
Just one question. There's no answer to this. This is just me stirring the pot right now, to be perfectly honest. But if we hadn't had an application from Corner Brook Pulp and Paper to harvest this 4%, would we be all up in our own business, making sure that the trees were okay and they weren't going to be eaten by bugs? I mean, if they hadn't made the application, nothing would happen there, right? I mean, it's a happenstance. It's a nicety that they're going to help us with that problem,
right.
right? Okay, thank you. They could.
Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, you mentioned other towns were at the table when this was up for discussion. How many of the ones were at the table were using our water supply?
The other two besides
two.
us, Mount Moriah and Massey Drive.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other questions?
Just one more comment, Mr. Mayor, because it has been mentioned that this is part of a 5-year management plan. I don't know how far into the 5-year management plan we are, but again, when companies want to do things like this in sensitive areas, the onus is on them to be proactive and talk about their plans with the public and with us. This is something that came to us several months ago, not really anything different than this map I've seen. I remember other companies came and they invited tours of the area and things like that when they were looking at doing different things for council, for residents and so on. When companies want to do work in sensitive areas, there's a bigger onus on them to make sure that people are engaged, involved, and knowledgeable of what it is they want to do. And when they do that, and they do it ahead of time, and give people ample opportunity to understand what they want to do, it makes it a lot easier for bodies like this to make those decisions. And even though we do, and I do respect staff's input and the input of the management committee, because I was there when we put the management committee together, and I think it's a very solid committee and solid representation from experts in various fields and so on. I'm elected by the residents of the city, and I have to err on the side of caution and ensure that, if we're not comfortable with this, then until people are, I'm not going to be prepared to support it. But I would encourage the company to do a better job at including the population.
Perfect. Anything else? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contrarian?
Nay.
There you go. Okay, motion fails. Order. Discretionary use, home-based business, Councillor Griffin.
I'm lost now, Mayor.
You're
7-2?
lost. It's the next page.
7-3. City of Corner Brook has received an application to operate a home-based business waxing depilation, is that, am I pronouncing that right?
Depilation.
Depilation from the property located at 35,
Sorry, I'm saying it wrong. Sorry.
what is it?
I had to Google it too, I'm not gonna lie.
Depilation.
Hair removes.
Depilation from the from the property located at 35 Coronation Street, which is located in a residential medium-density zone. The nature of the proposed business will only have one client at a time and is not anticipated to have a large volume of traffic at this location. A home-based business is a discretionary use of the City of Corner Brook Development Regulation for the zone in which the dwelling is located. A notice of two occupants was delivered to residents in the immediate vicinity of the subject property, and as a result, no submissions were received. A site visit by city staff confirmed that this property has 2 parking spaces which meet the parking requirements for both the single dwelling and the proposed home-based business. Be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook approve the application to operate a home-based business from the dwelling located at 35 Coronation Street in accordance with Regulation 11, discretionary powers of authority. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder on that?
Second.
Okay, any questions on this one?
That's pretty.
No?
I'll go get our bikini wax.
There you go. Okay.
I was gonna ask if there are any sound violation possibilities. I'm sure that hurts some people's screen, but
Kelly Clarkson. Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counter-minded, carried. Okay. Next, we have another discretionary use for a home childcare, 14 North Street.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City of Corner Brook has received an application to operate a home-based childcare from the property located at 14 North Street, which is located in the townsite residential zone. A notice to occupants was delivered to residents in the immediate vicinity of the subject property, and as a result, one submission of support was received. A site visit by city staff confirmed that this property has 2 parking spaces which meet the parking requirements for both the single dwelling and the proposed home-based business. Be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook approved the application to operate a home-based childcare from the dwelling located at 14 North Street in accordance with Regulation 11, discretionary powers of authority. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder on that?
second, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, any questions on this one?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just
Yes.
one quick question. Do we have any regulation, I support this motion, by the way, but do we have any regulation within the city, for example, for an home-based business with regard to the number of children that can be operated in a child care center? Like,
I don't believe that.
we don't have any regulation of the size of
It's provincial.
the area is 2,000 square feet, or
Registered daycares would have regulations under the province, of course.
not, but not with
The
us.
city, I don't think we have any development those as a use is the only thing they would.
Right, so, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Minded, carried. Another home-based office, business office, 41 Burks Road. Councilor Griffin.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City of Corner Brook has received an application to operate a home-based business office from the dwelling located at 41 Burks Road, which is located in a residential medium-density zone. A home-based business office is a discretionary use of the City of Corner Brook development regulations for this zone. A notice was delivered to the residents in the immediate area of 41 Burks Road indicating the above-mentioned request. As a result of this notice, one submission of support was received. It is not proposed to have anybody visit the property, and there is no proposed storage at this site. Be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook approve the application to operate a home-based business office from the dwelling located at 41 Burks Road in accordance with Regulation 11, discretionary powers of authority. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder on that?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on this one?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
More, I guess, a comment, just for the information residents, anytime we approve a home-based business, there's an extra unit charge that comes with that the homeowner pays, correct?
I don't believe. I
We
think
don't
there's
do the
a
business
home-based
charge
business, there's a home-based business charge for
It's a home base, so we have a separate,
There's a separate tax.
okay, it used to be a unit charges, but there is a fee of some sort.
It's been, I think it's $280,
270.
$270.
270, okay. And I just wanted to highlight that, Mr. Mayor, because, you know, it is an opportunity for somebody, especially entrepreneurs, people who don't need to rent a big office or whatever, to be able to work from home, get a business off the ground. So this is a great way to help our local entrepreneurs do that.
And of course, with CRA, you can deduct a certain percentage of your
Right.
floor space.
And probably the $270 fee.
Yeah. So, okay, any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Minded, carried, and another last discretionary use one here, home-based business, 113 Bayview Heights.
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. The City of Corner Brook has received an application to operate a home-based business from the property located at 113 Bayview Heights, which is located in a residential high-density zone. The nature of the proposed business is to carry out small-scale woodworking operations in a garage located on the property and sell these items. The items made will include personal touch items like picnic tables, chairs, etc., and they will not be mass-produced, and the applicant does not stain items very often. The items, no, my eyes are starting to go. The items will be stored in a trailer and will be sold as demand dictates. It is not anticipated to have a large volume of traffic at this location. A home-based business is a discretionary use of the City of Corner Brook development regulations for the zone in which the dwelling is located. A notice to occupants was delivered to residents in immediate vicinity and the subject property, and as a result, no submissions were received. A site visit by city staff confirmed that this property has 2 parking spaces which meet the parking requirements for both the single dwelling and proposed home-based business. Be it resolved that the council of the City of Corner Brook approved the application to operate a home-based business from the dwelling located at 113 Bayview Heights in accordance with Regulation 11, discretionary powers of authority. I so move.
Thank you. Seconded. Questions on this one?
Mr. Mayor, just for the benefit of Councilor Griffin, it's not his eyes, the font changed on the document. It got a lot smaller, so no need to worry about his eyes.
Thank
I
you.
found the same thing as he was reading.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contraminded? Carried. And last but not least, we have a change order on Mount Bernard Avenue. Councilor Pender.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This change order is to cover the cost of items and unit prices that were not originally included in the contract. Due to unexpected conditions in the field, the following items were required to complete the project. Number 1, supplying placement of curb and gutter and form. Number 2, 200 millimeter to 150 millimeter sewer reducer. Number 3 is supplying installation of fittings and tees. Number 4, supplying placement of storm sewer on the main line. Number 5, supplying install of hydrant extensions. Number 6, supplying placement of precast maintenance holes. And number 7, supplying placement of storm sewer main line. Be it proposed, then, Mr. Mayor, be resolved that the Corner Brook City Council approve the change order number 12 for Marine Contractors, Inc. in the amount of $95,983.60, HST included, for the Mount Bernard Avenue reconstruction project. I so move.
Thank you.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Seconder, any questions on this one? Yep.
Mr. Mayor, I don't have a question specifically on this one, but as when we finish with this one, I have one related to this, if I could ask it after.
That's pretty perfect. It was not related to this decision, but
It's not directly related
you want
to
to
the
know about
decision.
Mount Bernard.
Right.
Okay, we can ask the director about that.
Yeah, I was going to ask
Right.
the same thing, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Where are we with it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to ask the same thing.
I
Okay,
was
so are there
actually
any
curious,
questions
too.
on the motion? No? Let's vote. Okay, so we did get a motion, and that the seconder, yes. Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contraminded? Carried. And now, before we go, you want to know a progress update?
No, I know, I have a question a little separate from this, but
Okay.
it was brought to my attention because of the development on Mount Bernard Avenue.
Okay, go ahead.
And the question is, with regard to the use of Margaret Bowater Park. We get a lot of people that are using Mount Vernon Avenue for walking and those kinds of things, some seniors and so on and so forth. And I had a couple of people brought to my attention with the amount of traffic going through Margaret Boulevard Park because of the development at Mount Vernon. And a couple of seniors have said to me that they're particularly using the tunnel underneath Margaret Boulevard Park. And they asked me specifically if council was ever given any consideration to putting a crosswalk across one side of Margaret Boulevard Park to the other side of Margaret Boulevard Park to get into the details about the tunnel itself. We've all driven through Margaret Boulevard Park, and there are a lot of people that don't use the tunnels, even young. They don't use that tunnel. And we see cars that are stopping, and people are cutting across, people are coming the other direction. Then we have 2 or 3 groups of people crossing the park. We encourage them to use the tunnel, but at the same time, if there was a crosswalk there somewhere, it might alleviate the potential of a accident or catastrophe. So it was brought to my attention in the last few days, actually in the last couple of 3 weeks, and I said I would bring it up, not for an answer here this evening, but something perhaps that we could have staff have a look at if there's any validity to looking at putting a crosswalk somewhere in Margaret Boulevard Park. Not sure how much traffic will continue through there with the development of the new hospital when it opens up in actually next week. So perhaps something that we should consider to have a look at least do a study on.
And I would suggest, Mr. Charters, add that to your long list of our traffic study, and because our new traffic study will have a number of policies as well for things like crosswalks. Because crosswalks don't prevent accidents.
Mr. Mayor?
They actually don't do anything.
The crosswalks don't move.
Mr. Mayor?
It's the cars.
Sorry, one sec, yeah? Go ahead.
No, and on that point, Mr. Mayor, I would say no crosswalk in that area without speed bumps on both sides, because otherwise the temporary ones that we can use. But aren't we doing Deep Gulch work as well? So I suspect that road is going to be shut down for a period of time anyway,
It's going to have a gigantic bump.
right?
Invert.
It's going to have a meteor impact zone. So I suspect there's not going to be much traffic going through Margaret Boulevard Park, or it'll be slowed down considerably because of that project. But my question was on Mount Vernon. Where are we? Can we get an update?
Yeah, and before that, did you have a question?
I just wanted to say that the tunnel is super creepy, and I hate going through it, and I would love to have a crosswalk so I didn't have to go through that creepy tunnel. Thank you.
This is related to the
tunnel.
tunnel?
Yeah, no, I was just, my 2 cents. I think if we could have put a crosswalk there, it would have been there. Why would we have spent all the money on the tunnel? And I'm thinking maybe the sightline had something to do with coming around the bend there. I don't know, Mr. Charters could, I'm thinking would have come into that equation somewhere. Because why wouldn't you just put the crosswalk there? Why would you go through all that?
I suspect
Spend all that
there's a
money?
longer answer to all of this that Mr. Charters is going to have
It
to do
was
some
the 60s.
figuring on beforehand. But, without keeping us in suspense, how are we doing on Mount Vernon?
I have no idea.
Where is it?
Despite all the challenges with the project, it is moving along quite well. We're trying to time it so we do work outside of disrupting O'Connell Drive for Deep Gulch, so we're trying to get the contractor to go below or above to do some work. I'm not going to promise no delays, but they are progressing quite well, and from what I heard today, they're very hopeful that we can work it out so those 2 jobs are not conflicting. Fingers crossed.
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.